Hello, everybody. Give me just 1 minute. I'm going to double check to make sure that I can see you all. Okay. So I know this is a last minute invitation. I sent it out yesterday, but I felt really called to just show up and do a Facebook Live for you all. So if you are watching this live with me, I want to celebrate you for tuning in and giving yourself this experience of the topic on how you reinvent yourself. Okay. And if you are watching me on the replay, remember to hashtag replay on the comment and comment along with us. Ladies, if you're here, let me know who you are so that I can celebrate you. So real quick, I'm going to introduce myself. And you all know I started this Facebook group, I think 2 or 3 months ago. And now we have like over 600 members already. So I'm super excited. And I hope you really use this space to celebrate yourself, brag on yourself, to really grow your business and grow your level of like self identity, your self-awareness, right? And today I thought I'm going to do a session on really talking about reinventing yourself and giving yourself that space to be the fullest you. And why is it so important? And the reason why is because when you get to reinvent yourself and you get to be like your highest self, right? You're going to notice a lot of big things in your life. You're going to notice better sales in your business. You're going to notice that you're allowing money to come into your life and without like unintentionally pushing those opportunities away. You may not realize that you've been blocking yourself from money, from love, from connection, from support, from praises, from recognition. You will experience more joy and fun with your loved ones. That could be your intimate partner, your children. You stop silencing yourself, and then you fully own your truth and your self-expression. You're more happy with your current success, and then you can allow yourself to move on to things that fill your soul. Okay, and what I mean by that is that I think so many of us downplay our success because we don't have our own definition of what truly brings a high level of like fulfillment and happiness and like confidence for us, because we've been defined it by our social norms, by our parents, the supremacy culture. And when you get to know what is successful for you, your current level of success, that's when you can allow yourself to do other things, because you stop blocking yourself. You stop trying to like do more in order to give yourself permission to do the other things that you actually genuinely enjoy. All right, so who is here with me? And real quick, my name is Nguyen, and I am a life and business breakthrough coach. And so I help mission-driven women entrepreneurs, coaches, and creatives like yourself own your power and self-expression, break through your fear of visibility, build a high level of self-certainty and confidence so that you can take your life and your business to the next level while releasing that burnout, releasing the need to control and perfect everything, releasing the overwhelm that you think you have to experience, so that you can truly have a life with ease, with more flow and more fun, while incorporating like structure that will help you be able to see those changes, help you thrive in the changes instead of like falling back into old habits or the old identity. Hello, Sally. Yes, I see Tong. Oh, yay. Tong is in her bath. Yes, I should be doing that at some point. You know what? We're going to have to do like a bath Zoom hangout. I genuinely want to do that. Genuinely. Okay, Sally and Tong, thank you for watching, and I really appreciate you tuning in, and feel free to jump into your own bath while watching this as well. So one of the biggest thing that a lot of people don't have a sense of awareness around this is really, uh, I'll start with all the C's that's required to reinvent yourself. The first C is huge, it's very important. It is, do you have the capacity? Do you have the capacity? So to reinvent yourself, you actually have to build this capacity, the emotional and mental capacity, in many ways. It's working on your capacity to receive, okay? Because without it, when you don't have this the capacity to receive, when things come to you, you're going to deflect it. You're going to go, no, I don't deserve it. I can't handle it. It's too much. And that's the same thing with relationships. Relationship will come to you, and it might be from a figure that you kind of look up to. It could be somebody like really that you honor, whether it is like somebody that you're attracted to, or it could be like somebody who could give you a high level opportunity. But if you haven't built that capacity, you always feel small. Instead of really getting curious and saying, I'm worthy, like really feeling that sense of worthiness, so that when those big things come to you, you can go, okay, I got this. I can handle this. I can give myself permission to take these like steps so that I can enter this relationship. Whether it be, hi Anime, thank you for joining. We're talking about emotional and mental capacity as you reinvent yourself. Okay, this all comes down to emotional resilience, emotional regulation, becoming aware of your nervous system, right? And there's that primal part of your brain that wants to protect you from doing risky things, from doing all the risky things. But let me tell you, I'm going to explain some more today about taking risks. Reinventing yourself requires that you really give yourself wholeheartedly like so much permission to take on more risks. Now, if you haven't figured this out, we're constantly taking risks. We are. But we just don't think about it. You know, when we're driving in our car, we put ourselves at risk for being in accidents, right? But you have prepared yourself. You've gotten you've taken the driver's test. You've taken the written tests. You've done this for so many years that you have built up a level of self-trust around your driving. And so we're always taking risks, but somehow, so many of us, when it comes to taking the risks of the unknown, we don't trust ourselves. We don't trust that it is possible. And that is going to come from all these fears, the fear of failing, the fear of being rejected, right? And this is why I have so many women who go to me like, I love that you're so bold, like you're so courageous. Now that tells me that there's this part of them that desire that, but they're still scared. They're still scared to like really unleash themselves. And this is why you build that emotional resilience to allow those to come towards the fear and to get very curious about the fears. So ladies, if you are here with me, type down, and if you're not inside of water and swimming in the pool or anything, type down, share with us, like, what are some of the fears that show up for you that prevents you from reinventing yourself? And when I say reinventing, I want you to imagine that it could be you being able to shift yourself even the next day, for the next day. It doesn't have to be this drastic thing. Oftentimes we think, oh my God, this new reinvention of myself is going to be so big and huge. Let me tell you something. That's not sustainable. It's not sustainable. That's typically like a performer. That's like a singer. Like imagine like Lady Gaga, she's reinventing herself, right? But for us, reinventing ourselves could be just saying, you know what? I don't feel good today, but I know I'm capable of doing this thing. I know that I can like show up to this event. Like for me, this event right here today, I made the decision, was it yesterday? I made the decision yesterday to host this Facebook Live. I didn't do anything fancy. I didn't do a landing page. I just said, I am going to show up and do a Facebook Live. So I might as well invite everybody, right? And then I just gave myself, look, I'm going to have all these time to just gather my thoughts. And I'm going to trust that whatever I have to say is plenty and good enough, and it's going to resonate with you in different ways. See, but I've done the work of regulating my emotions, of giving myself that emotional capacity to like trust myself. Now, if I have not done this work, if I asked myself to do this like 5 years ago, 7 years ago, I would have panicked. I would have freaked out because it was just so scary for me. I would have been so worried about what others think of me and others just leaving me if I messed up. So, number 2 is a second C. Okay, we're talking about the many different C's in reinvention. The first one is capacity. The second C, we talk about capability. So capability comes down to your skill set, but it's also a belief system of whether you really think you're capable or not. And the truth is, I know that you're capable. I've coached so many highly brilliant, intelligent, creative, high achieving women entrepreneurs. And it's never about whether they are capable of what they're doing or capable of what they want to create for others. It's whether they can put themselves in the position of being seen as the authority of that space. See, I know you're capable. I know that's why you're doing what you're doing. But it's also about positioning yourself. It's about knowing, you know what? I'm going to take this on as an authority of my life and also an authority of my business. Now, working on being an authority takes a lot of unlearning, because that also means that you have to recognize, you have to slow down when you are trying really hard to people please others, whether it's family members or clients, right? Or even in your message, in the way you show up in your marketing, in your business, whether you silence your feelings, where you're a little scared to really put out your point of view, like your true, strong, brave, courageous point of view. And I see this a lot. And I always watch myself. I'm always like, okay, did I say too much? Right? Did I say not enough? And then I just release that attachment and I just let myself say what I need to say. And I also allow myself to grow along the way. You acknowledging that you are an authority of your own life is already like you're taking that step. That's your stepping stone. Okay, without recognizing that, and without really embodying your authority, that you are that powerful figure in this space, right? You lose out on like other people gaining that level of like influence from you, or like really respecting your point of view, right? Your point of view is medicine. It's medicine. And as you can see, there, medicine is found everywhere. When you look around, medicine is found everywhere. So that can be Eastern medicine, Western medicine, but that's medicine, and you got to release it. You got to let it go so that others can receive your medicine. And you, from that learning, you're going to build on your capability. Okay. So you have to show up and own your expertise. And if you don't know everything, it's okay that you don't know everything, right? That's the part of reinventing yourself. Is one, nobody knows everything. And two, if you want to better yourself, that's when you give yourself permission to continue to learn, to be coached, to be mentored, right? But the beautiful thing about really creating like that capability aspect is to start somewhere, to start serving, to start saying it, to start making mistakes. That's how you increase capability. So I have spoken to women who they're so much in fear of failing, right? They have this like fail, where like starting a business, the thought of like failing just paralyzes them. Or maybe it's this next thing that you're about to do, it paralyzes you, right? It is because you associate failing somehow in your mind, in your unconscious mind, you think, or your nervous system, you think it's like death. Your ego gets in the way, your logical brain gets in the way, and it makes all these like images, and it shows up as though, oh my God, it is the death of me. It is the death of me. It will be the death of me if I do something drastic. But I want you to get like, this comes down to you getting very comfortable and allowing yourself to make those mistakes. Because mistakes it's what's going to drive your decisions forward. Okay. And actually, you want to make as many mistakes as you can so that you can start building like that creativity in you, that resilience in you, so that as you become better as a new identity, as a new reinvented self, you make even high quality mistakes. Now, high quality, remember this, as a high quality person, and I know you are high quality, you're here listening to this, so you want to be high quality, right? You want to be seen and known and respected. You want to be heard, right? And you want to be of service to others. And high quality mistakes is actually going to give you like the high quality answers. Let me know if you have any questions. I'm going to pause for a little bit, and if any of this resonates with you. Okay. So when we're talking about making decisions that are scary for you as you're trying to reinvent yourself, right? And you feel like you don't know what steps to take. And I got to remind you, the thing is, if you have been told how to be your whole life, right, you're always going to look for others on what you should do. And in my job as a master coach is to not tell you how you should do things. Okay? It's actually to open your intuitive powers to help you step into your sovereignty, your independence, so that you can see your authentic desire. Right? You can reinvent yourself from your authentic desire. And it's not going to come from a place of should. Because should is not sustainable. And oftentimes, if our self-talk is always coming from, oh, I should be doing this already, I should be doing that, I should hit these things, right? Have any of you all felt that way? Where notice your self-talk, where you're going along your day and then your weeks and you're always constantly, I should have been more productive, I should, right? So much of that is coming from a place of shame and guilt, and it's not sustainable. And it's the opposite of authentic desire or authenticity. Because what it is that you don't learn to trust yourself. You don't learn to trust yourself. And because if you're in that consistent pattern, you're always going to seek others for answers. So just recognize that you get to reinvent yourself in your own timeline, your own experience with your own creative resources. And reinventing yourself is allowing yourself to unbecome so that you can become. Unlearn so that you can learn more about yourself. It's how you remove the emotional attachment of what others think of you. How you stop outsourcing your powers to others. And how do we outsource our powers? So when we're waiting for others to give us approval. To finally be, to finally choose, to finally decide. But I'm going to ask you to really, in this journey, is to let go of this fear of losing your tribe. Because you're going to lose some and you're going to make room to gain the best, like unimaginable experience for yourself. And along this journey of reinventing yourself, you get to be with high-level, like-minded people. And when I talk about losing your current tribe, I'm talking about the fear of rejection, the fear of abandonment. It may be something that's not outright, straight out like that you would admit, but I know that is definitely one of the fears that people experience is, what if I show up this way and people make fun of me, they criticize me, they no longer want to be my friend? But what if you show up and you end up pulling all the people who want to rise with you at your new energy, your new level of vibration? Hey, Tong. Thank you. Thank you for watching me, and appreciate it. So the answer to reinventing yourself, well, there's many answers. We went through all the different C's, right? So we have been punished for many years, for decades, for really figuring out how to be in our truth, right? How to be honest. And perhaps you've been kind of suppressing it, and you're a high achiever, you're doing all these things, you're working hard, you're showing everybody, I got the fancy car, I got the house, all this, but there's still things that are missing. Perhaps you're feeling that numbness where you're constantly working, you're an not alcoholic, maybe you are, but workaholic. I see that as a consistent pattern. And I have been guilty of that in the past, in my previous career, because my career that was my identity. I didn't have anything else. Until I did the self-work, that was when I realized I got myself, and that I'm so resilient that I always figured things out. I trust that I will always have everything figured out. All right. Whew, so much to share. I feel like I may have to do a part 2. All right, so let's quickly go over some other C's, right? Do you have a compass? Whose compass are you holding on to? Is it your parents' compass? Is it society's compass? Are you willing to drop the old compass and make your own? And what I mean by that is that, do you have the values and the standards that keep you aligned to your greatest self? Do you listen to your intuition, or is it coming from fear, constant need or neediness, or scarcity, or constant urgency? Do you see that everything every day feels like urgent to you? So part of reinventing yourself is building that sense of compass in you, that deeper knowing of who you are and what you stand for. And can you be bold about it? Can you be so bold that whatever you choose, bold falls under courage, right? Do you have that courage to actually break the patterns of hardship for yourself? So this may be really difficult for you. Maybe things have happened in the past and you're still trying to forgive yourself. You're trying to accept yourself. And it takes a lot of courage to get to that place of accepting yourself. Or you're trying to give yourself evidence that you're capable of doing better, right? And the evidence is going to come from consistently showing up for yourself, even in the discomfort. And courage is also going to come from you making those decisions and immediately taking action on it. Immediately. Because you build the high level of self-trust and the self-confidence from doing that. Okay. You're not going to build it from wavering. You're not going to build it from going, oh, let me go back and forth. Let me wait on my husband and what he thinks. He's not you. Let me ask my parents, they are not you. Reinventing yourself is about standing up and taking radical ownership of some big decisions that you are going to make for yourself, that allows you to be a sovereign being. Ooh. Now, it sounds awesome, but the problem is, why is it so hard for people to do that? Why is it so hard for people to say, I want change in my life? Like New Year resolution every year, and then you're still the same person. Okay. One of the biggest things is that you fully haven't understand the pain and the pleasure model that impacts your mind, that impacts your decisions, right? If you're doing something, if change feels painful to you, you're not going to want change, right? So it has to feel pleasurable. But what if you just don't genuinely think it's pleasurable to create that level of change? We start with becoming deeply aware of your thoughts and your emotions. Okay. Now, what I mean is that we're always thinking. It might not be loud and clear, but we're always thinking. Our thoughts are always running in our mind. But you're not your thoughts. Even though you have these thoughts, you're fully capable of changing those thoughts. All right. And so you don't want to let the thoughts be the downfall of your reinvention. They're just thoughts. Become aware of your thoughts, right? And you create new and powerful thoughts that stick to you, that becomes a habit for you, right? That becomes the driving force that impact your emotions, your feelings, how you feel about things. Because those feelings are also the things that drive you from not doing all the things you promised to yourself. So what I mean is that, let's say you tell me, I feel like an imposter. That's a feeling. I feel frustrated. I feel I I I feel so alone. This is an opportunity to become aware of those feelings and to switch up on your unconscious thoughts. These thoughts may not be apparent to you during the day, but the unconscious thoughts are the thoughts that are coming from the space of like, I'm not good enough. I'm not worthy, and that's why you find yourself, if you're not worthy, you might go out and you're spending all this money on like things that don't matter. But then when it comes to really taking care of yourself, your self-care, right? Investing in yourself, whatever it is that's like going to change your lifestyle and your life and your presence around your family, then you feel unworthy of it. Right? There's a mismatch in values. It's a mismatch in the promises that you're making to yourself. And once you become deeply aware of it, you can make those changes. Hello, is it Ruki? Hi, Ruki. Thank you for joining us. Oh my gosh, it is 36 minutes in already. Okay. So we talk about conscious risk taking. Like when you're looking to reinvent yourself, give yourself permission to take risks, right? And evolve. Evolve. You know that 3 months from now, when you can consciously allow yourself to take risks, to like make these mistakes, you're going to evolve so fast that you're going to look back and go, how the hell did I even get here? Because you're not sitting here just wondering, when you're going to get somebody else's permission to be you, to do the things that you want to do. So if you take a look at successful tech companies, there's no tech company out there that's not making mistakes. There's no company out there. It's impossible. Every successful company at a visionary level or individual level are making mistakes. So why is it that you have that expectation that you cannot make mistakes, that you cannot have these rude experiences, that you cannot have those failures and success at the same time? Why can't you give yourself permission to pivot? I'm going to pause for a little bit. Do any of you all have any questions for me? Feel free to write it down, comment below for me, and I can definitely share, comment back or respond to you. Okay. So the truth is that everything is a mirror of how you perceive yourself. Everything. People's experiences of you, they're mirroring your energy, your perception of yourself. And this is why it's important to reinvent yourself, to like step up and level up for you, not for anyone else yet. Okay, it has to be for you in your vision and your mission. Because once it's for you and it's in your authentic desire, that is going to trickle down to your business, to your children, to your intimate partner, whether it's your boyfriend or your husband, right? It'll trickle down to your sales in your business. Yeah, I mean sales. Because now you see how worthy you are. Everybody makes it sound like, oh, I don't think I can charge this amount. Yes, you can. Build up your authority, right? Honor your wisdom. Like, of course, I go into details when I coach my clients on their business. But I'm saying you don't have to fight yourself so hard. It doesn't have to be hard like that. Okay. And I'm going to share a little story about myself and my perception of self. It's like when I grew up, my family had this thing where they just didn't think that I was intelligent. So they always mocked me growing up when I was little because my strength was not in math and science. So they would always call me stupid, or they all compared me to other kids, and they would always say how intelligent they are. It didn't matter because I was a hard worker. I was a straight A student. I was always a straight A student, but that didn't matter to them. They always saw me as not intelligent. It as a fact. It was like a fact to them. And of course, I took that to heart. So I just believed that I was not intelligent. And it impacted the way I showed up in college, the way I showed up in my work. When I was in the corporate world, I didn't believe in myself. I didn't have the self-confidence. I didn't have the self-esteem. Okay. And it wasn't until I did the inner work, until I also left the corporate world and reinvented myself, right? I started studying mindset and just holistic wellness and well-being, really stepped into that finding that spiritual side of me. And then I started working for wellness centers, fitness centers, and I also became the director of lifestyle medicine for a medical and wellness center. Once I was aligned to my soul purpose work, it was clear to me that I was very intelligent, because I started producing things in a way that felt so good. I saw the results on my side. I attracted people towards me. And that was when I became so certain in my intelligence. I also knew that I just had a different level of intelligence, right? So it took me reinventing myself to really realize, oh my gosh, I have all these amazing like wisdom and genius. And if I had just stayed in one, like trying to stay in that safety net, I would have missed on the opportunity of like seeing how big I am. And I knew that at a young age that there's so much from me, but I didn't see the evidence. But I'm going to let you all know now that sometimes you may not have the evidence. Okay. You may not have the evidence immediately. And this is where you have to lean into your self-trust and build that emotional capacity to let the things come towards you. Okay. So I want to let you know, this is just a very short conversation that I pretty much cut in half because I don't want it to be too long for you all, but I'll show up and do another Facebook Live to really explain more about reinventing yourself and your self-perception and how that changes everything in your life and also your business. Because 20%, now while I help women on strategies, I know that the thing that stops them from getting what they want in their strategies, in their business, in their life, is all in the inner work. It's all in the mind-body connection. It's all in the belief systems, the thought, your ability to tune in and tune into your feelings and emotions and be able to work through and process all of them. So if you find that you're the type of person who've been numbing yourself for so many years, let's do something about it, because that's not optimal. That's not you in your greatest self, right? So anyhow, I want to let you know that if you desire to really master yourself and step up and become the more confident you, I do have private coaching available, and I have an amazing group coaching mastermind for high achieving women. And you're ready to embody your high value self, worthy women ready for transformation. And you want to let go of your old programming that holds you back, reach out to me and request a life and business breakthrough session where we can create an authentic vision for your life and your business, find out where you're stuck, what's holding you back, and then strategize on how you can move forward. Okay, because I am super excited for you. And the beautiful thing about you being surrounded by a powerful sisterhood of women who are empowered, who want to rise with you, is that they are going to be loving on you. Not only are you going to really love on yourself and your journey, and when I say love on yourself, that is to include a high level of self-acceptance, self-trust, self-confidence, self-compassion that will shift the way it's going to change the way you vibrate. It'll change the way you show up online, the way you show up in front of others, the way you show up for your loved ones and your like intimate partner, you know. And if you don't know what I mean, reach out to me and ask me some more. Feel free to ask me questions, comment below. Okay. And what I'm probably going to do is go up and do another Facebook Live to cover some of the other things that I didn't get to go over. But if you're still watching me, feel free to comment, private message me, and ask me any questions that you may have. And I am going to send you off with a few questions, right? One is knowing that there are always risks to take, knowing that there are always consequences that show up. Good consequences, bad consequences, outcomes, results, different responses from the universe, right? What do you desire authentically for yourself to create? What do you really desire to be able to create? What experiences do you want to create for yourself? And then what do you have? What's your thoughts around mistakes? What's your thought around like you fearing that things won't work out? And what has that thought led you to? If you have certain fears that have been putting you on hold, that has been delaying you from certain things, certain ambitions that you want in your life, what has that done to you or for you? And there's always a good and a bad to it. Remember that your mind, your subconscious mind, also your primal mind wants to protect you from being harmed, from being humiliated, right? So those thoughts are not your fault. Those are just patterns, conditioning that has made you feel like, okay, I cannot do this because it's going to lead me to something worse. And now it's not your fault that you think those things. But remember, those are thoughts, do not have to be permanent. And those are just thoughts that you can change. So it doesn't have to be painful. So your change can actually be pleasurable. So when you start to really rewire your state of being, your state of mind, you start living more in pleasure. And you start looking back and go, oh my gosh, I put myself through all that pain and misery or like discomfort. And in that space, it felt like it was comfortable. I'm curious if you've been there, right? It felt like it was comfortable. It felt like norm. Until you walk away, until you step up into something greater, into reinventing yourself and your way of being, then you get to see, wow, this is amazing. And this is similar to my relationships, my intimate relationship. I used to be in my previous relationship. I'm married now, and I have such a fun husband, and we get to be playful. And in my marriage, what's really powerful is when you do the inner work, uh, when you start to really step up to take radical responsibility and be a sovereign being for yourself, you start seeing the other person as somebody who compliments you. And in those like weak moments, in the weakness that, or the areas that you're not aware of. And that was what my husband did for me, in the areas that I was not strong in, he would bring it up. And it was uncomfortable, but it opened my eyes to new possibilities. And I hope that you understand this. I hope that you're enlightened by some of this stuff right here, to know that, in my previous life, I didn't have that type of relationship. I was very serious. I was so like ambition driven that it felt like everything was always a competition. For what? See, when you get to really create this pleasurable life, a pleasurable mindset, it doesn't have to be competitive. It doesn't have to be urgent all the time. It doesn't have to feel like not enough all the time. It can be fun. It can be joyful. It can be incredibly like authentic and powerful. And that right there is going to magnetize people towards you. It's going to magnetize, if you have children, it's going to magnetize children towards you. Your sons or daughter, they respect you, they honor you, they don't try to like act up, because now you can be more present to them, right? Same thing with your relationship with your spouse, your partner. Same thing with your relationship with your clients, with your audience. Same thing with your relationship with your teammates. It all mirrors you. All right. Awesome. I am going to head out. If you're here and you're still watching me, let me know any insights that you gained from this, anything that showed up for you, anything that resonated with you. Hello, Anime. Thank you for still watching me. Ruki, if you're still here, let me know. Anime, I'm curious, did any of this resonate with you? Did you gain any insights? I'm going to give you all a few minutes to type down, and then I'm going to head out. All right, ladies. So feel free, if you're watching the replay and you gain some insights from this, feel free to share with us. Okay. And I cannot wait to hear from you. I cannot wait to connect with you all. And if you're inside of the group, just want to welcome you all. If you're new, hello, hi. It's I again. I am your bold AF life and business breakthrough coach. And welcome to the group. This is a space where you get to brag about yourself. You get to honor who you are. And Anime just said, yes, it was really good. And I have a similar mindset, and we have to put in the work on ourselves. Yes, beautiful. I love it. Fabulous. Okay. All right, ladies, I'm going to head out, and you all have an amazing, beautiful evening. Bye-bye.